Hi, I'm Tammy Burns, Integrated Body Coach, and my mission is to help as many people as possible be fit, fun, and free. This means a lot of things to a lot of people. This is day 2 of our video series, Take Back Your Life, as we lay a foundation for our 90-day transformation to a new you. Today we're going to talk a little bit about stress. Did you know that stress causes your body to release cortisol, which causes fat storage? So yesterday we talked about thoughts stimulating emotions, which create chemical messengers that reside in our bodies, both in muscle tissue and also in the form of new brain matter. And really, it exists in the DNA of every cell. So today we're going to talk about stress and how that particular feeling can be particularly problematic when trying to lose weight. When you're experiencing stress, your body's sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, and freeze, gets triggered and produces cortisol, which is designed to prepare you to run from the proverbial tiger who's trying to eat you, right? We've all heard about that. However, as you might be aware, environmental stressors today are very different from the stress that our bodies are wired to respond to. And so, in the absence of the tiger and the burst of energy that fleeing requires, that cortisol can really become problematic. So, if thoughts are not properly managed, then it kicks off a series of unhealthy processes in our biology. And since this is not a course in anatomy and physiology, suffice it to say that these processes result in poor blood sugar regulation, food cravings, abdominal fat storage, and other nasty things. So one of the most important things to do is to learn to keep your inner elephant that we've been talking about, your subconscious body of you, stress-free. And this is called stress management, and it will yield huge returns in your weight loss and health efforts, I guarantee. So our strategy for today is, we've talked about journaling. We've talked a lot about journaling. I hope if you're following me through this whole course, I hope that you have gotten a journal. Journaling is just an excellent way to begin to identify what thoughts are residing in your brain and the cells of your body and how they're affecting your emotional state, particularly your stress levels. And remember, the goal this week is to not really change any habits, but rather observe and begin to understand what is driving the pull to the foods and habits you know aren't good for you. Now remember, this is primarily a course in weight loss, but it can apply to all kinds of habits that we have that are counterproductive to the person that we want to be. So begin to observe your inner state as you reach for food, before, during, and after. And this is the biggest strategy as you lay the foundation for the change that's going to come. We have to understand that inner elephant. We have to understand the things that drive us and move us to the places that we don't want to go. We need to know why our inner elephant is trotting off down the road to Dairy Queen when we're really committed to dropping 5 pounds this week, or this month rather. And so when you do have a craving, I want to encourage you to give yourself permission to indulge. But before you do, take a few minutes and do a little mindfulness activity. And this is what we talked about yesterday. If you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch day 1. We kind of introduced the idea of mindfulness. And what that is just checking in with your body and finding out what are the emotions that are residing there. And they usually show up in the form of maybe tension, maybe a cramp, a pain. You know, I tend to carry mine right here in my shoulder. Actually, this shoulder is the worst. So when I get stressed, it all goes to this left shoulder. Sometimes I feel like there's just a dagger in my neck. And right now I'm pretty stress-free. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't have that dagger. And I do a lot of work to keep that out of there. And a lot of it just comes from learning to manage my stress and my emotions and my negative stuff that I'm carrying around, along with stretching and exercise and those other things that we're going to talk about later on in the course. And so give yourself permission to indulge. Don't freak yourself out. We don't want to startle our inner elephants, right? We want to keep them happy. We don't want them to get scared, or because then your subconscious is capable of derailing every best effort to make those lifestyle changes. And especially if you're like I'm 56, and so I assume my target, people that are actually listening to me are probably in that same similar age bracket, maybe between 30 and 60, let's say, or 70, 40 and 70, 30, whatever. We're mature women and probably have a lot going on in life, and we get stressed, and sometimes our inner being, that subconscious, I like that elephant is just the perfect analogy for that, the perfect visual, because we get that elephant is just going to say, screw you, I am not going to stick around, and you're taking us down a scary road of lettuce, and I want ice cream, okay, or I want my wine, or I want whatever I want. And that subconscious is oftentimes way more powerful than our little rider, which is that rational part of our brain, to navigate it to the right place. And so that's why this idea of mindfulness is so important, and just being able to check in and take a few minutes and say, what is driving me to go do that? So you just tell your little elephant, it's okay. We're going to go and we're going to have that, whatever your thing is. It might be the chimichanga at Casa Molina's. It might be Dairy Queen. It might be, whatever the indulgence that you want. Maybe it's a cocktail, but you're trying to cut back. Okay, so when you're wanting to make decisions that are counter to your overall higher goals of a better you, then just give it permission. Say, we're going to do that, but first we're just going to sit down and study what's going on here. Okay, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? What am I experiencing emotionally, mentally, physically? What is going on? And these are awesome things to do with a coach if you want to find somebody. Even there's good things on YouTube, or even just a one-on-one experience to just sit down and have someone hold space for you while you just feel that those emotions and examine what's going on, and get curious about the feelings and the sensations and the tension and stuff in your body. And I can't describe it here as much as if you haven't already done it. So here's what you need to do is, when that craving comes along, when that elephant is on the walk, say, okay, whoop, stop, we're just going to take a minute and check in. And then spend a little bit of time identifying some of the triggers that you are aware of that drive you to food. What's triggering this need to go participate in the behavior, food or otherwise, that you are trying to avoid? And be specific about the feelings. Is it anger? If so, about what? Journal it, write it down. Is it anxiety? What types of things create anxiety for you? And how does that feel in your body? How about celebration? Pleasing others? Fear of disappointing someone? It's different for everybody. Different things for everybody drive us to dysfunctional, to counterproductive behaviors. And so what kinds of foods do you gravitate towards for each trigger? This is another very interesting thing that we can get curious about in our quest to manage this inner elephant. Okay, write down whatever things come to mind as you do these mindfulness behaviors today. And as the month progresses and you become more aware of these things, return to this list in your journal and add to this section. Okay, because the idea is we talked about before, we want to understand this inner elephant. We want to understand what's going on, what's triggering us, where are we carrying that around, and that's all right now. We just want to get curious. We just want to understand. And it's surprising, just the act of getting curious oftentimes helps those emotions and those triggers just kind of dissipate and go away. And then we re-enter into the day with a lot greater self-control and ability to manage and be more intentional with the behaviors and the actions that we do need to be taking to become that person we want to be. So that's your assignment today, and I hope that you found that helpful. I want to just share a couple resources that I'm familiar with, and this is by no means an exhaustive list, and I invite you to comment below if you have other resources that have worked for you. But I know there are a number of great meditation apps available. One of them is called Headspace, and in fact Netflix had a Headspace miniseries on for a while. I don't know if I think it's still on there. It was really, really good. Just an introduction to meditation and mindfulness. And then Calm is another app that you can download. They both have a free version, and then you can subscribe to get more tools and resources. Definitely a great investment if you really want to get in touch with your inner elephant, your inner drivers, and have greater success as you embark on different goals definitely this year. Become the person you want to be in 2023, like we've been talking about. So those are great, especially if you're struggling with meditation and mindfulness activities and having a hard time sitting down and being still. These also both have great sleep stories and guided meditations beyond just mindfulness, but on different subject areas that can be super helpful as you learn this process. So that is my resource for today. And the challenge now, because every day we're going to have a challenge, and I really encourage you to do these challenges, journal about them, tell somebody about them, have an accountability buddy, jump in on the Facebook page, Integrated Body Coach on Facebook. And but I want you to list today somewhere in your journal, someplace, list 3 to 5 quality of life foods that you really do not want to give up, okay? And lifestyle changes you are not willing to make right now, or that you would find extremely difficult. And what this is just putting out on the table things that might spook your inner elephant, okay? If you're saying, wow, you're asking me to give up my croissants, I'm out of here, I don't want this program. Well, 1, we're not going to do that. And 2, we just need to bring peace here, okay? So just write those things out and just put them out there, because as you progress through the course, you're going to be prioritizing different things. And so there is room in your life for these things. And so I just want you to identify those as part of our self-awareness. 3 to 5 quality of life foods that you really don't wish to give up, and lifestyle changes you're not willing to make or that you would find extremely difficult. So write those down. And with that, please join me back here tomorrow. Remember, don't do all these days in one piece. You can, but it's just not going to be as effective as if you do it day by day and give your body time and your life time to just digest little by little by little. It might seem very basic and very simple or simplistic at this point, and it's supposed to be easy. We're just in the warm-up phase, the runway. We haven't even really taken off yet. So just take these little pieces, do these little challenges, and it's all about being consistent and persistent and not giving up and not quitting. That's what lasting change is all about. So with that, if you like what you see here, please like it, please subscribe, please share it with a friend. I'm just brand new on YouTube and I'm trying to grow my channel. Please give me feedback on what you find interesting and good and helpful, or resources or tools and things that you might have. Feel free to comment below. And with that, have an awesome day, and I will see you back here tomorrow.